Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam Gita series. Freedom from pains and miseries to happy, healthy and peaceful life. Based upon 108 mantras to awaken your soul and Srimad Bhagavad Gita. My questions and God's answers. Today the series number 95. Learn art of mastering your thoughts, speech and action. And how our faith, our Shraddha plays a role in that. I'm Satya Kalra, your host for the program and founder of Path to Anandam. Pranam to Hariharji Maharaj, Guruji, for his blessings, his guidance for this program, and also whatever you see on this page, all these bestseller books, CDs, etc. on Amazon and different places, and also giving the sessions, counseling one-to-one, wherever Gita's teachings takes us, whoever has a desire to learn from, this program goes to them, not just through the people who have joined us. It goes through many different pages on the social media, etc. So thank you very much, Guruji, for coming in our life, and Bhagwan Krishnaji for guiding as well. Today's series is based upon chapter 17 of Gita, verses 14 to 16 or 17 or even more. How to make the best use of your body, mind, and speech, which are the major instrument to live our life. And what is tapa? Because that's what the topic is. These are all the tapas, how to make best use of our body. So, austerity, what is tapa? What is austerity? How many types are those? Body, mind, and speech tapa. These are the major ones. Benefits. What are the benefits by practicing it? And how to practice it? What kind of homework do we need to do in order to practice it? And our sankalpa. I am a master of my action, speech, and thought. And meditation part, and question and answers if anyone has that. So let's all pray to Bhagwan Krishna for giving us wisdom to walk through, get out, how to deal our depression, our questions, our fears, our worries. Because when Arjuna was confused, worried, fearful, he had a company which he did not know that it was Bhagwanji's company, Lord Krishna's company. He was his friend. Similarly, Gita serves us as our friend, Bhagwanji, which guides us. So when Arjuna got confused, had no other way to go, he finally prayed to Lord Krishna as his friend. for his advice, his guidance, but he did it very humbly by surrendering to him. So let's all pray to him as Arjuna, because we are confused, we get fearful, worried every day in our life. Karpanye dosho pahat svabhava pachyami tvam dharma sammudi cheta prashyami tam dharma sammudi cheta yachasaisyani nishchitam brui tanme shishyaste ham shadi mam tvam prapanyam shishyaste ham shadi mam tvam prapanyam. My heart is overpowered by the weakness of pity. I have lost all my composure, and my mind is confused about my duty, my dharma. I'm requesting you to tell me what is definitely good for me, not what am I just asking for it, what is definitely good for me. I surrender to you. I'm your disciple, so please instruct me. And with Arjuna's request, Bhagwanji poured his infinite wisdom, showered him, and Arjuna went on this self-transformation, blissful journey from where he said, Karishe Vachanam Tav, where initially he said, Na Jotasyati Gobindam, I will not perform my activity. I will not get engaged into this Dharma Kshetra war and perform my duty, because he thought it was only the action war. He did not know that it was his responsibility, which Lord Krishna is asking him to fulfill. And after going through that beautiful journey, finally he said, Karishye Vachanam Tav, I will do as you advise. So let's go through and embark on this blissful journey and learn where Guruji, Hariharji Maharaj taught us in many different ways. He was our divine company, just like Lord Krishna, who took us step by step, guiding us, teaching us that Bhagavad Gita is a spiritual instruction manual, teaches us how to live righteously. It guides us to develop and practice sattvic sadhana and sattvic shraddha, faith, build our character, and attain the supreme goal of life, eternal happiness, peace, anandam, and realize, who am I? I am Satchit Ananda, which we forget many times. So, and it's not that we realize this after death or while we are dying, but while living in this world, so we can enjoy our life to the fullest. So Swamiji gave us many quotations, which I put it together here just to summarize pertaining to this particular subject. So let's all go through this blissful journey to get to our supreme nature, our higher self, from our lower self when we get depressed. Lower self means when we are worried, we are concerned, confused, to higher self. To the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, which has 700 verses, 18 chapters, and each chapter is called Yoga, means union with your higher self, with supreme power. Through many different ways we can do that. And every chapter of Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to go. Living in this world, from our daily life, How can we go beyond without sidetracking ourselves? As I mentioned before, many times people say, I don't have a time to practice spirituality. I don't have a time to do bhakti, sadhana. And here Lord Krishna teaches us, you don't have to do anything other than what you're doing. Only thing, you have to do it righteously. So when we do our karma, it's a chapter 1 to 6, he guides us. Do it righteously. Sarva bhutite rata. Do it for the benefit of all love, for all with love and devotion, which comes in the bhakti yoga. Do it, I am all. So whatever you do, offer to me. And then do it with wisdom. Don't just do it blindly. And where does that wisdom come? We are on that section now, which is from chapter 13 to 18, and we are on the chapter 17. And through karma yoga, through bhakti yoga, through jnana yoga, we remove our ignorance one layer at a time. Just like when we peel the onion, remove the one layer at a time and cry and get the tears in our eyes. And eventually we get to the source of the sweet part of onion. Similarly, we, by going through this, removing the ignorance through karma yoga, dhyan yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, we reach to ultimate destination, Satchitananda. So in other words, from Vishad, from confusion, depression, we receive the prasad of eternal happiness. So I just brought this verse again just to remind us that when Arjuna was confused, Lord Krishna, very first advice he gave him, transcend yourself, uplift yourself. Nistray guna bhav Arjuna. Why? Triguni Vishya Veda. Nistray guna bhava Arjuna. Nirdando nitsatvasto niryog shem atman. The Vedas deal with the 3 modes of gunas. Sattvic, which is goodness, Rajasic, which is passion, and Tamasic, which is ignorance. So, O Arjuna, transcend 3 gunas. Go beyond these, all these 3. Free yourself from duality and free from all anxiety for gain and safety. Milega, nahi milega, sukh, dukh. Be established in Supreme Self. In other words, go beyond these limitations. These gunas are our limitations, but we are made with it. And Bhagwanji said, Vedas deal with this. So let's learn from Vedas. As Bhagavad Gita is a summary of all the Vedas, Upanishads. So let's again, Lord Krishna is assuring us, going through Bhagavad Gita, you will go beyond it. So on chapter 17, which is the Shraddha Traya Vibhag Yoga, the path of threefold division of faith. As Gita is a self-purifier, it transforms us, purifies us. In other words, it removes all the gile, shikwe, confusions from us and transforms us and makes our life, daily life, our lifestyle more pleasant, with more confidence. Therefore, we must have the proper type of Shraddha, not just the blind faith, but Shraddha. And as I mentioned before, what is Shraddha? Shraddha is not just the blind faith, but it is a love, compassion, wisdom, just like Hanumanji. If we don't know what pure Shraddha is, just think about Hanumanji, his loyalty, his love, his compassion, ready to do whatever was needed for the benefit of others. Bhakti of devotions. So that's where it says a man is made of his Shraddha. As is his man's Shraddha, so is he. So जैसी हमारी श्रद्धा होती है, we talked about previously, the way our Shraddha is, the way whatever if we have faith or our belief system very negatively, I am this, I cannot do this, people treat me badly, all these negative thoughts come to us. And then we think, why God did this to me? Why this? Then we behave that way. At the same time, if I want to be engineer, my thought process is focused on the engineering. I become an engineer. Whatever I think, that's what my thought process comes. That's what I become. That's what it says. If our Shraddha is like, I am good and I do my best, I am the byproduct from God. God has created me. When we have that kind of Shraddha, then we have a different type of set of mind. So whatever one has type of Shraddha, one thinks that way, then that's the Shraddha becomes. Due to the Shraddha, the person behaves accordingly. So we discussed previously that Shraddha is 3 types. And we behave accordingly. And Bhagavad Gita teaches us what to do and what not to do, which I have covered this previously, but I just want for us to remember, and some people might have joined today, new people. So for them, for example, worship is 3 types. Whether we worship ghost or do havans and things like that to hurt others, and or we worship to get the worldly things, like hamari ye mannat puri ho jaye, if we get this, then we will perform these good activities, etc. And then we worship also Devi Devtas and do Hanumanjis and all those pujas, Ganeshji's pujas, because we want something in return. So that type of puja is something when you want in return, that is Rajasic puja. But when we do the Sattvic puja, we just do it because I want to reach to the highest conscious level. I want to realize who I am. So there we worship Nirguna. Means God without any shapes and bodies, not Devi Devtas, but supreme power. And whatever hamara ahar, what kind of food we eat. So our lifestyle depends on our Shraddha. If we are tamasic people, we don't care what we eat, like eat meat and all kind of things we eat. But when we are Rajasic people also, they'll eat very spicy food. Like I said, it's just like very sweet and very all different kind of, it gives us a enjoyment to our tongue. We live for our tongue and our stomach. But Sattvic people eat the healthy food, which give them a longevity, and all vegetarian, fresh fruit, etc. So this comes the ahar part. Then yajna. Again, as I mentioned, the yajna, the tamasic people will do the yajna to hurt others. But Rajasic people will do the yajna to attain something in return. But Sattvic people do the yajnas without having any desire for the fruit. They consider it's our duty, because yajna is not just that we do the ahutis and the agni. Our life is yajna. So anything we perform through our body, we perform for the benefit of the all. and also to uplift ourselves. And then tap and dan. What kind of dan, donations we give? Do we give to the wrong organizations like who promote the terrorism or many other things which hurt the society and others? That's a tamasic donation. But at the same time, when we give the donation to the places where we want our name and fame, newspaper, our name should be on newspaper and in those rooms and on those fans when you go to the ashrams. Names are, people give the names. Although giving names is not a bad idea to a certain degree, as long as it is not given for attaining the respect in the community. But I can give you a little story here. As I met Swamiji in 90s, and he came to our office also and give donations, just with the respect. And then from there, we were going to Fremont Temple. And there, Swamiji announced the donation. And again, in those days, $500 was a big thing. Nowadays, it's a very different amount. And I was shocked because I thought, I learned from my mother, that when you do donations, your right hand, with the right hand you do it, but your left hand shouldn't know. So you don't tell anybody. So to me, it was a Gupta Dan. And Swamiji explained, he says, no, other people get motivated. So if it can help to motivate others, then we should give let it be known. But other than that, we should not do it because we want to get our name and fame. But many places we should give it because it's our duty. But now it comes to the tapa, austerity. So austerity is also 3 types. And what kind of tapas? What is tapa? Let's first know that. And it's a very good definition, is aimed at spiritual growth and self-purification. So in other words, we come here on Sunday morning, that is also a part of tapa, because we get up in the morning early and then, rather than doing other activities, we come here. So there's a more discipline. So tapa is more discipline. It involves self-control, restraint, performance of a specific activity which we are doing that help individuals develop inner strength and detach from the material desires. So in other words, we want to learn something more, how to reach our higher self, how to know our true nature, and how to help the society through karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. But at these tapas are many times, as I said, every chapter of Bhagavad Gita is yoga, is tapa. But 3 main types which are involved. What is involved? Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, all this, they require body. So here it says, the verse is the worship of demi-gods, devas, learned men, and gurus, and wise like the elderly, purity, cleanliness, simple celibacy, and non-violence are called the austerity of the body, tapas. And in Sanskrit it says, Bhagavad Gita, it says, Devi Dvijya Guru Pragya Pujanam, Shocham, Arjuam, Brahmacharya Ahimsa cha Sharir Tapuchyate. So the worship of demigods, or learned person, or elderly, or our parents, or our gurus, and the purity, Shocham Arjvam, very straightforward, very simplicity, not just bragging about ourselves that I do this puja, I do this, very simple puja. Practice the simplicity, straightforwardness, celibacy. Celibacy means controlling of our senses. And then ahimsa, non-violence, not hurting anybody. All these are the activities, are the good activities of the body, which is called tapas of the body. It says, Shariram tapuchyate. So this is the tapa of sharir, of body. In other words, make the best use of our body. Every activity we do it in anandam. So anandam in action. And whatever our body does, one of the activity which is very, very prominent to our body is our speech. How we speak to others. And here it says, Anudvekaram vakyam, satyam priyahitam cha, yat swadhyaya bhyasnam cha evanmayi tapuchyate. In other words, non-offensive, anudvekaram vakyam, non-offensive, non-provoking. It should not become a cause of hurting or agitating others. Like, I have told you so, you have not done. Sometimes we say certain things to other people which are very unpleasant. It raises other people's blood pressure, and it just creates a lot of communication problems and disharmony in the relationship, etc. So that's why I say we should speak, like it says, roses without thorns. कांटों वाले फूल नहीं, गुलाब के फूल कांटों वाले नहीं. Flowers without thorns, where we can enjoy. So pleasant, pleasing, enabling to others. And then it says swadhyaya bhyasam. The one thing it says is truthful. Satyam priyahitam cha. We have to speak the truth. Don't just, to try to impress other people and we just praise them wrongly. Jhuthi tareef unki karna. No, that should not be done also. We should speak truthfully, but we should know how to speak truthfully. Say the things very pleasantly, very humbly, but give the message. And then it says Swadhyaya Bhyasanam. Swadhyaya Bhyasanam has two meanings. First of all, we should study the scriptures, because the scriptures are the one which teach us all these, gives us the guidance for all this, which is, as I said, with Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna said, Na jotasyati gobindam. And with the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, he says, I will do whatever you like me to do now. Tell me what you want me to do. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita gives us that motivation. Scriptures gives us that motivation. So that's the one meaning, that we should study scriptures. The other is Swadhyaya Bhyasana. We should study ourselves. Where am I? Where do I need to go? What are the qualities or vices, bad habits I need to improve upon? Rather than focusing on others, like other people don't do it, people don't do this. Many times we say that, and we kind of blame others. And no, focus is, our time is for us, not for others. So we should focus on our self-improvement, not on other people's faults. And then this is called Vanmai Tapuchyate. This is a tap of wine. So, how to speak, what to speak, when to speak, where to speak, it's all the tapas of warning. So, in other words, we should make a best use of our speech, anandam in speaking. And then it comes mind, tapa mind, think good, where it says, Man prasada somatvam, monam atma vinigraha, bhav shuddhir itya tapo, manasam uchyate. The serenity of mind, man prasadam. Mind should be set in cheerfulness of the mind, self-satisfaction of the mind. And then somatvam, gentleness, equanimity of the mind, calmness of the mind, self-control of the mind. It's not whatever we think and we should just spit it out through our mouth. But we usually speak when we think. Eventually it comes to our speech. So that's where it says the mind has to be always focusing on purifying our mind, self-improvement, should not get the negative thoughts. And then the bhav shuddhi, our intention should be always good. We should not be hypocrite. We say something, we do something differently, we think differently. We should always be very straightforward. That's where it says arjava, simplicity. This is called the tapa of mind, tapa of thoughts. So in other words, make the best use of our thoughts, all positive thinking, calm mind, Om mantra, whatever mantra you have. So make the best use of your mind and anandam in thinking. That's where I put it here. And here you can say what you feed your body and mind determines the quality of our life. So in other words, in summarizing it, transcend, control your senses and reprogram your mind. So practice sattvic goodness, ahar, food, yag, tap, dan, and then again summarizing the tapas, think good, see good, hear good, speak good, do good. And all these verses pertaining to their how we should see it, how we should think, hear it. All these verses are given previously. But in other words, here it says thoughts. Whatever we think, it becomes our speech, it comes into our action, and eventually it becomes our habit by repeating same action. And then it becomes our future, our destiny, our luck. So it could take us to bondage, in other words, to vishad, or liberation, happiness, eternal happiness, peace, anandam. So sattvic goodness, because English translation for sattvic is goodness. So sattvic goodness leads to godliness, and godliness leads to unity with supreme power, with yoga, ultimate union. So in Bhagavad Gita, in this book, my question and God's answers, I had summarized these qualities because there are many, many qualities. In Tamasic has the different hallmarks, qualities. Rajas has different qualities. Sattvic has different qualities. So sometime when we meet people, we don't know what kind of people are, whether they are Tamasic, Rajasic, Sattvic, and it explains everywhere in this book, my question and God's answers. But in summary, it says people who are lazy, who are ignorant, who live in totally in darkness, ignorance, impurity life, like khana, pina, thinking, everything is impure for them. They live just like animals. They are tamasic people because they hurt. Tamasic means people who hurt others. Rajasic people who live like rajas, who live like king. Their lifestyle is like a king. They eat like king. They think like king. Their ego is so high. All the characteristics of the Rajasic people. But on the other hand, Sattvic people are very spiritual, very humble, very simple. They do the activities for others. Forgiveness is their, and they live basically the righteous life, whatever they need to eat, whatever, how they speak, like ahar, vihar, tapas, dan, whatever, all these things which we have talked about previously, they follow that. And that's, I put some examples here, like for example, Rajasic, Bill Gates used to be very Rajasic, but now he thinks about the society. So he's become more Sattvic. Gandhiji, Modi ji. You can name so many people like this who are just thinking about the world and helping others. So this guide helps to assess others, but at the same time, this guide can be used for our own self-assessment and self-analysis, because we are on that journey, a blissful journey on the tapas. So the question here comes, where do I stand? By analyzing this and then continue to practice, practice, practice. So here it says, know your aptitude, whether I'm behaving like tamasic, rajasic, or sattvic, do your karmas accordingly, then success, eternal happiness, and true nature will be the byproduct of that. You don't have to do a lot of practice. So all these practices which I talk about every week, this is the form of tapas. Practice tapas. Again, summarizing, आदत बुरी सुधार लो, not only हो गया भजन, but also we know what is the purpose of our life, how we should live, how we smile, how we talk. This is all a form of bhajans. All these others need to be improved upon. So ultimately, the tapas for self-purification. Self-purification means improve our lifestyle, our habits. And so eventually our habits get transformed and we are more calm, more peaceful, we are more happy, and all depends on our Shraddha, what kind of faith we have, what kind of love and compassion toward others, and ourselves. So again, the practice, practice, practice. Starting the day with practicing, setting the mode of the day in a good form, with mantras or study Bhagavad Gita or some other scriptures, whatever resonates with us. And then during the day, we should do our yoga, pranayama, meditation, just to balance our life with and have a proper flow of the energy. And then during the day, we should take only one thing, which habit I need to improve, which areas I need to improve. And then practice during the daytime. And then in the evening, evaluate our progress. So it's a self-inquiry. And then meditate. But here, I just put it in the summary here, that know the difference of our Shraddha, Tamasic, Rajasic, Sattvic. Just follow the Sattvic, righteous living. And as I said, no extra effort is required. No extra time is required. Just the direction needs to be changed. So our Tamasic, Rajasic, Sattvic behavior gives the birth to what type of Shraddha we have. If we live, our lifestyle is Sattvic, our Shraddha is Sattvic, our character is Sattvic, our actions are Sattvic, and then our lifestyle is Sattvic. In other words, our thoughts, action, destiny, ultimately, we experience that love of peace and realize who we are. So we continue to practice and go and pray at the end of the day to Supreme Power to continue to keep us on this path. And then do whatever we do, because Bhagwan Ji says, once you do it, Sarv Dharman Paritajya, Mamekam Sharanam Braj, Aham Tvam Sarpapebhyo, Mokshashyami Mashucha. Do your best. Continue on this journey. And I will take care of the rest. In other words, don't feel guilty, don't feel fearfulness. I will take care of it. So the homework, what homework do we need to do? Again, Swadhyaya Abhyasnam, again it repeats. And here comes, be aware, self-inquiry. question number 1, continuously repeating, do I have my supreme goal of my life? Self-realization. Do I have do I know the difference between tamasic, rajasic, sattvic shraddha? And what kind of shraddha do I have? Do I have sattvic shraddha? What kind of food do I eat? How do I speak? How do I think? What kind of action? In other words, how do I make a use of my body, mind, my speech? And then continuously practice, 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 because it says a lifestyle that is led with purity, goodness, sattvic in thoughts, purity in food, purity in speech, purity in listening, and purity in action leads the purity of heart and liberation, and ultimately experience that I am Sat Chit Ananda. So don't think that self-inquiry is the doubting ourselves, but this is a path to self-improvement and reaching our highest level, my true nature. So we should always become Sakshi, observe ourselves, witness ourselves, and then how am I performing? And continue to practice. Don't get discouraged, because Swami Vivekananda says, arise, awake, stop not until goal is reached. So we should continuously go on this journey. So on this chapter, we have taken many sankalpas. Very first sankalpa was, I know my Shraddha. What kind of Shraddha I have. And then, now I have the mastery of my thoughts, action, speech, and lifestyle. In other words, I'm the master of my lifestyle. That's the sankalpa we have, because the sankalpa, here it says the sankalpa prabhavan. Once we take the vows, promise to ourselves, that has a very big impact, because it goes into our subconscious mind. But that sankalpa has to be for our reaching to higher self. And every part of our body, man, indriya, thought, speech, food, lifestyle, everything should be tailored toward that. Not that we just speak good, but do we do differently, or we say, okay, we think differently. No, everything has to be aligned in one direction. Then it says, Shanai Shanai Uppar Med, Buddhya Buddhi Grehita. Then little by little, it will take, aapko rang dikhayegi. And then it is not an activity, but a lifestyle. So continuously to practice, 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 practice. And then ultimately we will experience little by little, from a seed to the fruits of the tree. Gradually it comes to that level. Similarly, by studying Bhagavad Gita, we develop the mastery of our lifestyle, our faith, but I follow the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So that's the commitment we have. And Lord Krishna says, don't worry about it. Only 1 in thousands, in billions, know the purpose of life and come on this path. So, and when they come on this path, also it's not a quick fix. So have a patience and continue on this blissful journey. And ultimately, by learning the art of our lifestyle, our thoughts, speech, and action with our Shraddha, we get the freedom from pains and miseries and experience happy, healthy, and peaceful life. So thank you very much for attending. Learn the art of your thoughts, speech, and action.